another special debate tonight at 7 in the Fine Arts Auditorium. This one is very close. If we had a debate team, what you would see if they were going up against TCU or Baylor. I'm proud of all of our Texan debaters. Very, very proud of all of them. They've all done a fine job. But this one will be very competitive, and so we're going to make them, as much as possible, as much as we can, observe the rules. Now, just like if you saw some other debates today, we have the Prime Minister's side, and then we have the opposition side. The Prime Minister, as in the other debates, wants change. What is the change they want? They want to get rid of the campus carry law. The opposition wants to keep the law. So I'm going to ask the debaters, we'll start with the Prime Minister to introduce himself. All right, ma'am. Stephen Russell. And the opposition?
Adam Compton. Jared Socia, also known as the winners.
Yeah, I like it.
I would say that one of our purposes is debate in a simple way. All right, we need the Mr. Prime Minister, you may begin.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I thank you for being here today. This House moves that the licensed concealed carry law should be abolished on state campus universities in Texas. We have established the definition of campus directly from the law. Senate Bill 11, Section 411.2031. We define campus as all lands, buildings owned or leased by an institution of higher education. That being said, what we're here today to do is debate if we should be allowed to conceal and carry on campus. To start, the reason that we believe this should be repealed is due to the fact that there is not adequate regulations and restrictions and guidelines in receiving a CHL or LTC, as it's called today. What many people don't know is when you go to take your concealed handgun test, you only have to score a 70 on the actual firing portion. Now, in order to receive a 70, that means from 3, 7, and 15 yards, you have to get 175 out of a possible 250 points. Now, that being said, at the 3-yard mark, you shoot 20 rounds. At the 7-yard mark, you shoot 20 rounds. At the 15-yard mark, you shoot 10 rounds. Now, the target you shoot at is called a B-27 standard silhouette target. This target's dimensions are 45 by 24 inches. In order to score 5 points, which is the maximum shooting on this target, you must hit between the 8 number, 8 number, 8 number, and 8 number. That dimension adds up to a total surface area of 205 inches. You have to hit within 205 inches. That's it, from 9 feet away, and from 21 feet away, and you qualify. You classify, you pass. You don't even have to hit the target at 50. So do we really think it's a good idea to bring guns into the classroom after we've already told people, listen, we don't worry about long range. So from here to the door, we're looking, that's more than 21 feet. It's close to 20 yards, honestly. So now we're putting ourselves in a situation where we want to have armed individuals who are in their prime peak of change. The minds are still developing. We want to have them licensed to be able to pull and try and act on distances greater than we test them on. Also, when you test, it's not considered a fail until you've had 3 attempts on the range. 3 attempts. So you can just get lucky, technically, and pass. When you think about it, think of your driving test. When you took your driving test, if you hit the cone in the parallel parking, you failed. But yet here, if you miss the silhouette completely, it's not an automatic fail. It's just a 0 for a score. 70. 70 is all it takes. Also, when you think about qualifying, you're allowed to use a .32 caliber, a .380, a 9mm, a .357, a .40, or a .45 caliber handgun. You can also use a revolver or a semi-automatic. But yet, no matter what you use, once you receive your license, you're free to carry whatever you want. Which means someone can go in with a .380, which is a significantly lower power handgun, and use a revolver, which is statistically more accurate. They can qualify, they can classify, they can receive their CHL, and nothing stops them from going out and just deciding, I want to be a bad man jam. I want to have all the firepower. I'm going to carry a .45 caliber handgun. We may not know this person may not be able to handle the power of this gun. Honestly, we don't even know if they've ever shot this gun before. But we're saying it's okay to qualify with this and carry a completely different animal. Whereas, I mean, I drive a pickup truck, and I can't go out tomorrow and decide I want to drive an 18-wheeler. They're two completely different power stations. Also, my opponents will talk about some of the restrictions, and if things happen or mental disabilities, those licenses can be revoked. One of the other issues is once you qualify for your CHL, that license is good for 4 years. Once those 4 years hit, you renew, it's 5 years from there. What real guidelines, what real checkpoints are we doing between that time, between those 4, those 5, those 5, those 5? I hope that the speaker sides with us and repeals this bill. Everyone ready?
My name is Adam Conlon. I'm going to be proving these guys wrong. So take a quick sec, listen up. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by building up our case, and then we'll turn our attention to their arguments and prove why they're wrong in correlation to our case. So I'm going to start off by saying, here in America, you'd be surprised at the responsibility that we are entrusted with every day as Americans. We enjoy our slightly higher risk country because of the quality laws that we pass to entrust responsibility in our individuals in this great country. When you restrict laws because of the mentality of people who don't trust their peers, you promote the idea of distrust among peers. We further digress our American culture to a peer-hate-peer world because of this distrust. We have to allow guns in the classrooms because of the following reasons. Uttered by me yesterday around 1 a.m. Basically, what that is saying is that everything that these guys are saying is promoting an idea of distrust in America. Now, what is that doing? That's tearing apart the safety because of the distrust. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and show that our value is safety. Why do we promote this value? Because safety. We're choosing to promote the value of safety through this debate round because without safety, what else do you have? Safety is a valuable resource in American culture because with safety, you can learn in an environment that feels free of uncontrollable factors. What safety promotes. According to a 2015 report conducted by the Crime Prevention Research Center on concealed carry permit holders across the United States, permit holders are exceptionally law-abiding, stating Texas permit holders are convicted of misdemeanors or felonies at 1/6 the rate that police officers are convicted. That is police officers, not normal people, not 1/6 the rate of everyday human beings. That's 1/6 the rate of police officers. Our justice in America. Decrease in murder rate across U.S. That's a headline for between 2007 and 2014. Murder rates have fallen 25%, while the percentage of the adult population with concealed handgun license has increased by 178%. Now you might be asking, why did I pick a timeline of 2007 and 2014? That's not recent. They're going to try and point it out. But in reality, the reason I picked out those dates is because of that number at the end, 178%. That shows that the dramatic increase in those years proves that it doesn't need to be recent. But in fact, this needs to prove to be, sorry, what's the word? Like substantial, yeah, that's a good word for it. So these facts prove that the United States should be trusting of the gun owners of America. When you walk into a classroom, you should feel safe, and these statistics prove how you should feel safe on the campus and classrooms when you promote this idea through the law. We promote that value of safety. Well, how do we promote safety? So this quote was pulled from Jekyll and Hyde, which was a gun statistics analysis, one of them. If you work at Texas College and are worried about the prospect of having guns in your classroom, relax. The new campus carry law changes the risk of gun violence very little. I can almost guarantee that if you have a few semesters of teaching under your belt, at some point there have been students with guns in your classroom. If those illegally armed students were not moved to violence by the consent of your course and the statements of their fellow students, it seems highly probable that the new group of legally armed students will prove to be more volatile or more prone to violence than reported. End of quote. This evidence from Eric Gilbert, which was quoted and found by Jekyll and Hyde, which was a gun analysis group, shows the uncontrollable factors that will come from letting guns into the classroom that they talk about should have already happened. So let's go ahead and move on to their arguments. I'd like to point out that everything they said was all speculative. They only pointed out the fact that these tests are not good enough, when in reality all the evidence that we've provided have shown how safety will be upholded because these tests have done their job and will do their job. They only pointed out the speculative idea that these tests are not good enough to basically provide an idea of safety in our heads, because the people that are able to own these guns only have to shoot from a certain distance, and that's not good enough to protect us. When in reality, the people that own these guns have and will protect us, and you should still feel safe in our classrooms. So the entire case vote that you should be voting on is speculation versus evidence. I'll go ahead and provide another piece of evidence for the women in the room. I counted around 40 women in this room alone. You can quote me on that, that's all speculative. So Gerald and Hyde, another gun analyst team, provides the data. 200,000 women a year have admitted to using a gun to prevent sexual assault incidents from happening. Now that's not just on college campuses, and I know that you may not think that's recent, but that's 200,000 women a year showing that basically these guys are wrong, that these tests do work because these women are using these guns. Now they might not shoot they might not shoot the assaultees, and they may not actually fire around, but the fact that these women are carrying guns proves the fact that whenever someone is trying to sexually assault you, if you are carrying a weapon, that's 200,000 incidents a year of women alone that are deterring these sexual assault, these rape incidents. And that's 200,000 times that these guys have been proven wrong about these tests. So, basically, from everything I've said, they're only going off of speculation off the test. We provided evidence to how these guns have in the past and will in the future continue to protect our citizens of the United States and on campus, in campus, anywhere in campus. We don't care about the definition because it's going to protect it anywhere. Thank you. We are good.
I'm Devin Russell, and in relation to repealing Senate Bill 11, we should preach prevention and not promote violence. We believe this because, for instance, if a Sky student in a class of, let's say, 100 were to walk in with a gun with intentions to shoot once the class has gathered and started, how in the world are you supposed to, so everybody's in there, sit down, and let's say 10 to 15 out of the 100 that are in there are also armed with their license to carry, concealed carry. Now, once the class is started, the armed man stands up with intentions to shoot or harm another student. Now, the other 10 to 15 people stand up armed. They also have guns. Now, how are you supposed to know who is friend and who is foe? The original effect could easily be in alliance with the portion of these armed students, which can increase the number of bullets flying. The majority of students, armed or not, have one of two natural responses in response to this apprehension: fight or flight. Now, even those who choose or react to fight will still naturally seek cover before reacting in a way to take out the threat. With that being said, people respond at different rates in high-stress situations, so what stops a license holder from shooting another license holder if the aforementioned license holder were to take out the initial threat? What I'm saying is, do we have full confidence in a young student determining who is friend and who is foe in experience? With all that being said, the actual risk of college campuses coming under fire being so low, why would we potentially add more variables to an already complex situation? According to Violence Policy Center, 29 concealed handgun license holders committed mass shootings between May of 2007 and March 2015. They did not mention that. They mentioned all the times they actually prevented, but these are licensed carriers. These people are licensed to carry, and yet they committed 29 mass shootings. So they're not killing just, a couple people, it's multiple people that are dying. And for some reason, when you think of a school shooting, on campus, we see the picture of a crazy person, a crazy male person coming in, shooting up the classroom. But in actuality, it's just likely that a well thought out person can come in here and really, gather teammates that can really just construct a well thought out plan. And not to mention the fact that these are semi-trained shooters in a very confined space with many people. So are you really trusting their accuracy for your life? Many studies show that the human brain is not fully mature until age 25. So these are people who are not fully developed and they are making life-altering decisions with their weapons. And he mentioned how women are unfortunately targeted for assaults, sexual assaults. Why can't these women just carry, tasers or pepper spray that are just as easily used to fend off these attackers instead of adding a life-altering weapon to the equation? For the aforementioned reasons, I would like the speaker to repeal this bill.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? Good. I'd like to start with the fact that none of what the Prime Minister said applies to the fact that the Texas Senate Bill 11 allows students to conceal and carry in the classroom in light of the many years students were already legally obligated to conceal and carry on campus and in buildings. What they really made a case for is the rationale for denying people the right to carry a handgun at all, which is not what we're here to debate. There are three contentions that myself and my teammate maintain with respect to safety. The first contention is as follows. As the allowance for concealing a handgun on campus has been in effect for many years, Senate Bill 11 simply gives students and others the legal obligation to carry a handgun into the classroom. And as such, the ideal safety standards can still apply. Now, some opponents of Senate Bill 11 push back here and say, well, bringing guns into a classroom means more bullets, and more bullets in a closed environment means more danger. This is an obvious non sequitur. This is much like saying North Korea has nuclear weapons, so if we build nuclear weapons, we will be more dangerous than had we not built them. How safe would you feel living in a country that denies itself the privilege of building nuclear weapons while our enemies obtain weapons of mass destruction by the dozen? Denying students the opportunity to take concealed handguns into a building is like sending a soldier into battle with no means of defending himself. Now, the second contention is this. When an active shooter or an otherwise dangerous person with a deadly weapon decides to visit havoc on his fellow students, the most logical thing to do to solve the problem is to stop him as quickly as possible. The sooner the better. Let's say that he begins his reign of destruction inside a building. In this instance, mere seconds become years. And the only thing to do to stop a disgruntled student is, from using his weapon, is to stop him with another weapon. Now, time is a real issue, and you have weapons that can be obtained legally from a local gun store, the capability of expending 100 or more rounds a minute. But here's the problem. Police response time on this campus is at best 3 to 5 minutes. Now, here's what that means. For 3 to 5 minutes, your safety is in the hands of someone who is not present. Does this make any of you feel safe? If students are allowed to carry handguns into the classroom, this problem of time basically solves itself. It takes approximately 1 second for one to draw a handgun. And not a single life has to be lost, as long as there's one sane student with a handgun opposite the psychopath. As for the third contention, why would we allow our students the opportunity to defend themselves outside, but not inside? And this makes absolutely no sense. Nothing about permitting students to bring handguns into a building makes handguns any more dangerous, or any gun for that matter. It's actually the contrary. It's more dangerous to fire a weapon outside of a building as less obstacles stand in the bullet's way. So one can know with certainty that by removing concealed handguns from the classroom, we aren't adding to the overall safety of the campus. But we are, in fact, increasing the certainty of danger. The addition of danger is the antithesis of what my teammate and myself uphold. Safety, as Adam rightly claimed, is our most valuable resource. Thank you.
Everyone can hear me? Name's Adam Compton again, here to prove it wrong once again. All right. Let me further reinforce some arguments for you guys. Their entire arguments are speculative. Now I'll get back to this at the end and provide some real arguments for these guys against us here in a moment. But to start off, we'll go ahead and downshoot some of these. The second speaker pointed out that in this hypothetical situation, it's harder to find the bad guys. Well, let me go ahead and point out that in this hypothetical situation, let's point out the other side of the argument. In this hypothetical situation, let's say these 15 or so shooters that you say to get up. There's not a single good guy shooter in there. We're sitting there reading our textbooks, doing our biology, hating our chemistry teachers. Bang, bang, bang. All of us dead. Not a single good shooter in the room. Now, I would rather have our value of safety by having good shooters in the room, no matter how inaccurate they are. I would rather have that dying chance, that fighting chance of having those good people in the room in this hypothetical situation, rather than being reduced to throwing our textbooks at these people. Now, as fun as that may seem, the textbook versus gun battle for a lot of you guys, in reality, it's a lot better to have guns on the good side of the fight. And I protect the value of safety better than these guys ever will in this debate. So, moving on to the second point. They didn't point out how many homicides are happening due to gun ownership, was another thing the second speaker pointed out. Well, we have a statistic that proves that, again, this is by another case study done by the same people I mentioned earlier. Can't pronounce the name right, but that guns are used 80 times more often to protect a life than to take one. So basically what this is saying is, again, rather than being hypothetical like these guys are, we're being realistic and providing evidence of true case studies that happen. And 80 times guns are used to protect a life rather than to take a life. So now that we've shot down some of their arguments, we're going to prove that these guys, if they were to try and make an argument that wasn't hypothetical, we'd still shoot them down. So, given all our arguments are speculative and hypothetical, let's provide some evidence for these guys. Ready? United Kingdom had a case study for the most violent country in the UE, which the UK is. Possession of guns is illegal in the UK. That's what these guys want to do, right? In the campus, correct? If we want to debate on their terms. There is 2,034 violent crimes per 100,000 people in the United Kingdom. Rather, 466 violent crimes per 100,000 people in the USA. This basically shows how we will uphold the value of safety more, and we will not digress into this possession of handguns being illegal mentality. This is actually one of the statements that I found quite funny. Kitchen knives are being used in as many as half of all the stabbings in the UK, and has prompted a group of doctors to call for a ban on long and pointed kitchen knives. What? Excuse me? That's exactly these guys' mentality. These guns they think are so bad, they thought they were so bad back in the day, right? They provide these hypothetical situations of how guns could be bad. So, hypothetically, 15 people stand up in this room with kitchen knives. 15 other people stand up in this room with kitchen knives. We ban kitchen knives? No, we let them knife stab it out like a true American, okay? So, basically, look at these guys' speculative and hypothetical arguments, and then look at the arguments I provided for these guys. It is better to have guns to uphold this value of safety because of the fact that we provide evidence that is real, true, hard-found evidence, hard-found case studies that we've spent time looking for. A few websites, but spent time looking for. So, for all these reasons and more, you can see why we won the debate. Thank you for your time. Have a comment.
I'm still Brad. All right, safety, 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 safety. I think we've all heard it about 400 times from over here. But my question is, if we're stressing safety so much, then why is there such a need for firearms? If the campus is so safe, and America is safe, and if your statistics are true and it's so safe, then why do we need them inside the campus? Yes, they've been outside the campus. Yes, they are now inside the campus. But again, you say speculation, speculation, speculation. Maybe it's speculation. But also, in fact, in mass shootings on school grounds, they're not always with handguns. Also, this gentleman over here said he could draw his handgun in 1 second. I would like to see you draw your concealed weapon in 1 second, especially since the law dictates that it can be near you. So let me see you go into your bag, get past your trig book, pull your gun out before he kills you. For the man who came in with either his high-powered rifle or his high-powered handgun. Also, there's a rule that you learn when you take shooting classes. It's called the 21-foot rule. That means if an individual has a knife, you should not draw your weapon if he's within 7 yards from you. But yet you're confident that you can draw your gun and put him down before an assailant, because let's be honest, in an active shooting situation, he's most likely going to have his gun. So if this man has his gun out, you stand up to go like this, you've now put yourself at risk. Me, I'm just trying to hide under my desk. You've put me at risk. You've put everyone in your general area at risk. Where's the safety in that? Not only are you not focusing on safety now, you're thinking, oh, I can do this. I had 4 hours of classroom training. Let me stand up, try and pull my gun out, and save the day. But in reality, you're most likely racking up the body count. Speculation, speculation, speculation. Is it not speculation to believe that statistics from a country that, as Adam kept saying, this is America? What is America? America is a country that broke away from the UK because we couldn't stand it. So is it factual to assume that their laws would have the same effect in our country, that we would obey and things would go the same here? It sounds more like speculation to me that people that we wanted change from behave a certain way. Maybe that's why we wanted change, Adam. Also, you want some statistics? Tops, on average, from our research, we have some websites too. In high-strung, active shooting situations, only have between 15 and 20% accuracy. In the academy alone, they are regulated and mandated to have 71 hours on the range and 6 hours of stress-related courses just to be able to cope, to calm down. But you're saying that these individuals that, again, are going through changes, also 80% of college students have been told and have been noted as experimenting with drugs and alcohol during the time. So, I don't know, maybe, have you ever come in hungover before? No? So, say you were out drinking the night before. Technically, you're not impaired by the law. Technically, you're sober, but you're groggy. You're groggy, you don't know what's going on. Something comes up shooting, you swing up. You really think you're at the best of your ability to protect us there? As my colleague stated earlier, if someone came in, someone was down immediately, do you feel that everybody with their CHL has the ability to decide who's friend, who's foe? I believe what he meant is, say someone comes in from the back, guns drawn, someone in the other corner sees him. Gun may not have gone off yet, but that is aggressive behavior. As your CHL class would teach you, you're supposed to shoot to stop said aggressive behavior. He shoots, stops the aggressive behavior. Rounds have gone off now. Now the gentleman in the front has a gun. He turns, addresses a man with a gun that has just been fired. What's to keep him from shooting? 3 years ago, there was a man in Louisiana who wrongfully shot and killed a man because he believed he was doing his civil duty, protecting someone with his CHL. Once he shot the man on top, the man fell back, and it was apparent that he had been stabbed over 30 times. The man who was sought as the assailant was defending himself and lost his life that day because of the judgment of the concealed carry holder. Thank you.
Well, I'm very proud of you. That was very good. Now, they asked me approval as the Speaker of the House, but I'm too quiet. Thank you. But you can vote. Now, let me tell you what they were negotiating with me prior to the debate. This side over here wants you to decide because they feel you favor concealed weapons. This side would like for me to decide the case. Thinking I have a bias, which I'm not, in favor of their position. Let's have you vote. How many of you think the Prime Minister's team won? Raise your hand. Okay, all right. How many of you think the opposition team won? Woo! All right. Dr. Gerhardt's going to come and lead us in a brief discussion. I appreciate that. He's done it twice now. He's probably getting tired like that.
All right. Gerhard, maybe a round of applause.
So I'd like to take this opportunity. If y'all want to make any of your own comments, if you want to ask any questions of any of our debaters up here, I want to turn the floor over to the audience and allow you that opportunity. Yes, sir.
I'd also like to know your definition of rashes. There are a number of websites that have thousands and thousands of rashes. Some which none of them have. You guys already voted, so.
Yes, sir.
Why can't, you said, why can't women carry tasers or pepper spray? Why can't you not break sexual assault? Everything is unpredictable. So therefore, we're in a class and we have a weapon. We don't know what's going to happen. So anybody can be unpredictable. I'd rather be more prepared with something to protect my life as well as others than sit around and let something happen to me and something that won't work. Pepper spray and tasers don't always work against anything. So sitting here with a textbook, that's not going to stop the shooting or a knife. And I definitely won't take a chance. I'd rather have a gun or a weapon or something to protect my life, possibly a friend, somebody's child, future father, future whatever the case is.
I'll take the question now for him. I think what he was trying to get at in that statement was that an act of unspeakable crime, the crime of an unspeakable act. Do we really want to be the society that basically matches it with an equal one? Do we want to see something horrific and say that we're going to see that horrific and raise it over horrific? Also, you said tasers don't always work, and I implore you to let any officer shoot you with one of the tasers.
Police right here. Police right here. Not everyone can take those. They have to put a bunch of wild animals on them.
But the big thing about what they're saying, it's like there's a point in life where you have to look at how you punish certain acts. And I know this is arguing for that, but there's a point where they're right. Yeah. And guns right now are the best option we have. And maybe in the future, like, there's other options, right? But as of right now, guns are. But what they're saying is punishing someone by death, what does that make us? And there's kind of like a philosophical idea you have to debate in your head over this person tried to sexually assault me, do they deserve death? And I personally say, yeah, they deserve death. If they had the opportunity to sexually assault me and they take it, No, I'll shoot them. And they deserve that. But
He said that most of these cases, they didn't use them, they just showed it when the guy backs off.
yeah, no, and I provide that. I provided that evidence. Yeah, it's a deterrent. Exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to look at the fact that what does that make us as a people? That's kind of sad. And that was their entire point. So,
We got a couple hands back here, we'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll go. In regards to the people who are for guns, you mentioned a statistic about the UK having more violence when they didn't have guns. The UK is a completely different dynamic, and they're a completely different part of the world. How does that substantiate compared to America when we have completely different social dynamics? I don't think it's even a relevant statistic.
Okay, so since you're pointing out social dynamics, I'll help you out for a second. Social dynamics is something you have to understand at levels, correct?
Yes.
So a social dynamic is something that you can't understand a bar scene in the UK over a bar scene. But something as grandeur as gun control, where something as grandeur as the social dynamic of gun control, something where it's universally understood that when you pull a gun, you should move. Something where that mentality is instilled in every human being throughout the world. I don't care where you are, where you've been. I've lived in Oak Cliff, I've lived in Irving, I've lived in Dallas, I've lived in Euless, right? Every single place I've lived, there's a social dynamic. Someone pulls a gun, you move. So when you understand different dynamics in different parts of the world, if you're looking at it from a view that's small, like a bar scene, then yeah, you're right, the dynamic's different. But when you're looking at it from somewhere like gun control, correct? That dynamic is so huge and so instilled in every person's brain, no matter where you're at, it doesn't change the fact. Not to mention I provide that evidence for them. So you can
Right. On the same aspect of things, people are going to react differently because of where they're from. Like people in Texas, pretty gun heavy, so they're more likely to be like, okay, I'm going to pull out a gun than someone in like New York, kind of more like liberal places. So you have to take that into account, just even within the United States alone. So when you're jumping over to a whole different part of the world, and I mean, think about what's going on around the UK. You have those external influences as well. So they are going to have different social dynamics and interpretations of the use of guns and violence. So you have to take that into account instead of saying it'd be the exact same as like America.
They can't have guns. I'm going to make one point for out of the side here. That's when you say, what he was saying is that you can look at the statistics and you can go, but you can't say that they're not somewhat inversely related. Because when you look at a country like Honduras, which has the highest homicide rate in the world, and it is illegal to own a firearm, you can't say that that is not relative to the fact that it's Sweden, where it is mandated that you have to own at least a long rifle. You have to own a firearm, and they have the lowest homicide rate.
I wasn't saying it was like completely out the water, but I'm just saying it was a little far stretched coming from like an American view.
No, yeah, and I agree. Yeah, and I understand. And the thing about that argument, though, is you also have to look at the fact that that argument's having to deal with something that's a mentality that's instilled in everyone. And you kind of have to cut a social difference slack almost when you're looking at a mentality that everyone should have even a partial bit. And so, I mean, you can look at it whatever way you want. You guys voted, so apparently it wasn't a big idea.
All right, thank you, Sam. Raymond.
So without seeing gun holders in classrooms, how do you propose to protect?
I'm hard of hearing. I shoot guns while holding that.
It's also John who doesn't wear earphones.
Well, how do you,
won the debate, though.
how do you propose we protect each classroom or each building without people having guns in there? Okay, so
You have a couple different options. You can take the high school approach and have something like a resource officer stationed in different buildings.
So one officer for one building for every classroom in that building.
I said you would have different approaches.
And that's also like saying, how many officers are on the Carlton PD? Like 11 or something. That's also like saying right now we don't have adequate protection because of the fact that the 11 officers can't respond quick enough.
Also, you can look at it and take the potential option of what some local high schools and middle schools in the state of Texas are doing, which is putting their teachers through extended courses, and if the teachers agree to do it, they put them through actual combat courses, and they have safety rigs rigged up where only the professor can get the gun out. Because honestly, if you want to arm someone in the classroom, if the professor is willing and has showed the adaptability to do it, then he or she is really in the best place. Now I'm saying you don't make it mandatory, but guns in the classroom, the teacher's usually at the front. Especially in a classroom like this. Maybe not all classrooms, but a classroom like this, the teacher is in the front of it. They're going to have the best vantage point when someone walks in. Also, you can take different sets of regulations. You can make sure that the doors are barred. If you're late, sorry, you don't get to come into class that day. Be on time. Bar the door. You can go out. I guess that you can't.
Yes, sir.
So, from the perspective of the intention of that shooter, would it make more sense to target like a gun-free area because what the appliances and actually stop someone easily target the officers and make off the heat? You repeat that? So, from the perspective of like say potential mass shooter, would it make more sense to target like a gun-free area as opposed to a gun? An area where people are more prone to carry guns because it would be easier to commit mass shootings. It's going to be there to stop the potential law enforcement does.
Like going to a playground or something where it's known to have the guns are prohibited.
I'm confused on who the question is addressing. So is it
Yes, no, it's
addressing.
yes.
Well, I would say yes, it is more prevalent, but a gun-free zone, there's still places on the campus that are gun-free. And what you could be saying that yes, that would give you protection, but also as my previous argument, we're assuming that all of the shootings are going to be somewhat related where we can put down. We're not assuming that someone may come in with body armor. If we go back to the early 60s and the bell tower shooting, I know it was outside, it wasn't inside of the classroom. But if we go back to the bell tower shooting at the University of Texas, that shooter came in prepared to do mass casualties. What I'm saying now, especially with the tech that people can get their hands on, the different bulletproof jackets, everything like that that you can have, they're going to come prepared. And if they're going to hit a target, they're going to hit it regardless. And yes, as you're saying, one point I would like to make, before I make the point, I'm going to say I don't believe this site. But one point that would worry me is if they came in, they had superior firepower, they had all of this, they take down the CHL holders in the classroom. Yes, so well prepared, probably has greater firepower, and you also have to look at it as these people, as I said earlier, they're not trained as well. They don't know how to react, because I guarantee you most of them, hopefully none of them, have ever been in the situation before. That adrenaline dump's going to hit them. They're going to be shaking kind of like I was up there. And now you've potentially taken a shooter who brought 3 or 4 guns with him to now say this room seats about 115. We'll say 10 of them had their concealed carry. Now the shooter has essentially reloaded.
Well, when you consider that carry, these are chance. And he's going to be moving at people the other way. If someone's hard back, at least there's some chance you're going to stop that shooter.
Not only that, but repealing the law that allows us to shoot back hasn't and will not stop that guy who prepared for once and showed up with body armor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So wouldn't you just be in a greater risk if you were actually in the zone as opposed to carry that's more?
At that point, it's just a safety debate. In that situation, honestly, there's too many cases to where you can just define one as being the whole. And yeah, so that's really a question. But
We got one gentleman back here in the back.
You said, I was stating earlier, I didn't write this down. You said we aren't truly matured until 25 years of age. I was just wondering how that's substantial, even though in our military, those are our forces are between the ages of 19 and I forget what, but I know you can apply to join the military students deployed as an active. So is that saying they're not fully mature to have those kind of weapons, or is how's that related?
I'll touch on it a little bit, then I'll give it to Adam. Actually, if you get a sign off, you can enlist, I believe, at 17? Yep. 17. And no, there isn't. It's hard. That's a hard one to argue. But you also have to look at statistics. I didn't do any research on it, but I would encourage you to look at statistics on those who joined in assault combat younger, opposed to those who saw combat later in life, how their symptoms of illnesses such as PTSD and other things like that onset them. I think that would be an interesting thing to research. I don't know the facts on it, but you may want to look that up. That may help answer that question on if the development actually has effect in that situation.
And then also you got to look at the fact that there's a difference between military and regular public affairs. The military entrusts responsibility, while as these public affairs require you to acquire responsibility. So with the military, they're just designating you, bam, you have a gun, we're entrusting you with responsibility. That comes with hours of training and such. But if you just have the public accommodation of we're going to acquire this responsibility, there's a different mentality that comes with it. So it's kind of hard to say that, oh, the 17-year-old can be in the military with a gun, no, because there's a different mindset. Right.
I just remembered one thing. I forgot to actually put it in my rebuttal, but as Adam, I don't think it was Adam. He didn't give us a partner when he said that taking our guns would essentially be sending a soldier in unarmed in the war. I think you can also look at it differently because we were making the point in the stance that due to the underdeveloped, they may not be able to handle that sudden change of stress so much. The fact that they were sitting in class, as Adam said, safe, and it was peaceful, and someone came in. Whereas, as Adam just said, training, but also they go in and they know everyone in this hospital, or not, they don't know everyone in this hospital, but they're assuming everyone in this hospital. Whereas in a classroom, you're assuming everybody, and that could play into effect on the mental capacity and the mental strain of the individual.
All right, are there any questions for this side? Okay.
It's more of a comment.
Okay.
But,
yeah, just keep going again.
Sorry. I personally agree with y'all, but I feel like they convinced me more because they refuted points better. What I would have liked y'all to bring up was the fact that since when do criminals follow the law type thing, and with the drugs, how you make drugs illegal and how that just increases the crime rate on the street with drug trafficking. I would have really liked to see that comparison and back it up with statistics and tie it in. I feel like that would have convinced me more.
So you're arguing circumvention, which I completely understand. That's more of an argument for that side, again. But circumvention is a topic that, since neither of us pointed out, I didn't want to bring into it. Because circumvention, again, is all speculation. The reason I didn't argue on their side a lot of times is because arguing against speculation is bringing yourself to the level of speculation, correct? I kept on continuing to provide arguments that were hard-found evidence because of the fact that hard-found evidence versus speculation brings you to another level. Evidence versus speculation will always win because of the fact that it's something that has happened rather than will happen. And you cannot beat a % chance of 100 over 0. And so for that reason, that's the reason that you might not have seen as much rebuttals as you did. Because of the fact that if I would have argued speculation versus speculation, good argument, because you're both on the same terms of debate, there's a mentality there. And not to be rude, but I wanted to be on a different level of evidence versus evidence. That's why I provide evidence at the end. And so that lack of rebuttal that you saw was actually a rebuttal on the fact that I provided a different interpretation of evidence. And it's hard to understand, and it's kind of hard to explain, but that was what was telling. Any other questions for this side?
I was in Iraq in 2010, and I can tell you from personal experience, when bullets start flying, accuracy right off your gun.
Yeah.
It takes thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds to go from one end to the other. So I'm all for carrying our cameras, but people need to realize that when the bullets start flying, even people are very well trained. They're spraying the train.
Yeah.
So people need to realize that.
So, yeah, and that's a good argument. And I can understand where you're coming from. Someone walks in the door, spraying and praying. There's a lot of victims, items, shots. But at the same time, you have to look at the safety definition. Where would you rather have someone in the classroom rather than not?
Oh, absolutely.
Again, spraying and praying is a good point, and I understand. And it's hard to about that, so I'll leave that there. Take that personally out.
Yes, sir. Right here, and then one more.
All right, one question is based on both teams. What about hostage situations? What if say, like a donkey situation? Say, with wires and doors, and at least you start on it. What about the inside? What happens if you have a CHO, you try to play hero? Well, he has to play wires. He's not, he has no intention to hurt anybody. He's sitting there trying to get to the handshake.
I think that is more their side because that kind of more backs up our side as just heard from this gentleman, the accuracy goes right out the window. So especially the other problem is there's gray lines in CHL too, because as I stated, you're taught to stop the aggressive behavior. And you're also, it's hard then to justify the stopping the aggressive behavior and then defending yourself after the fact of, was I stopping the aggressive behavior or was I shooting for him down? And that again,
I kind of agree. It's hard to put into words how hostage situations can be interpreted because that's all based on your opinion and how you want to handle it, per se. Whether you believe in someone's ability to own CHL and protect themselves and others, it all goes to trust, how much you trust your peers. And it's a hard thing to debate, really, because, again, it's all speculative. We don't know. No one's going to hold each other hostage or be there. How many people in here have been in a hostage situation other than, like, with your parents or something? So, yeah. No, that's a hard question to answer because we don't know. That's the truth.
All right, got our last question down front right here.
Yeah.
So I thought all four of you did an excellent job and commend you on that. I would be interested to hear your majors and your classification. And then the third thing would be, what's your gain from this experience in case we have any underclassmen in this room who might be interested in doing this in a future semester?
I'm Devin Russell. My major is kinesiology. I'm a minor math teacher and coach. And I get exempt from my final.
Well, I'm Brad Ham. I'm a marketing major here. Plan to go into sales. I also got exempt from my final. And I got to mess with this guy.
So I'm Jared. I'm senior. Jared Saucedo, sorry. But yeah, so I'm senior. I study geology here. So I don't really belong here per se. But it was interesting learning about some of this stuff. Having to think from both sides is actually very difficult because our brains are conditioned to pick one side, to try to build an argument for that. But meanwhile, we become weak in other arguments. So it was neat to think from both sides. It was a controversial topic, but yeah, that was my experience.
I'm Adam Compton. I'm an industrial technology major with a minor in business. I enjoy debate. I did this through 4 years of high school and a little rusty coming into it in college and a little nervous because I never really debated in front of a bunch of people. So this is different, so I apologize if I tripped up on a few things. I know I was kind of awkward and disgusting. That's usual though. So, but the big thing you should take away from this is debate helped me. It helped me land multiple jobs. Because going into interviews, the one-on-one experience that you have and the ability to be a prevent for these arguments that they shoot at you in interviews, the people that are interviewing are programmed to shoot at you questions that are there to make you think and to take you off your guard and to see the real side of you. And with interviews and with talking to multiple people of power, I got to talk to a lot of congressmen, kind of blessed to be able to do that whenever I went to state. And being able to talk to them on that mentality that they have at a younger age was a great thing. And debate has helped me honestly land most of the jobs I have today. So the reason I'm in here today is to further practice my ability to talk to people. And I like talking, so join it. Plus, classification, I'm a freshman.
All right, let's let them know how much we enjoyed the debate. Just a reminder, we have one last session, a community session tonight at 7 o'clock. Find out more.